Broadcasting from the McLaurin Carpet Studios on Central Avenue in downtown Laurel, Mississippi. This is Good Morning Pine Belt with Ben Winpigler on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right. Good morning, Pine Belt. Need to breathe, bumping us into this first segment here of Good Morning Pine Belt on a cold Tuesday morning as my chair slowly sinks down. Got a great show ahead of you today. We're live here in the McLaurin Carpet Studios. We finally have a sign up, so it is official. It's been official for a month or so now, but excited to have our sign up here with McLaurin Carpets. We got a great show ahead, like I said, but before I do that, I do want to mention this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by Bank First. For all of your banking needs, you can go check out Bank First today. Great people. Go check out their perk rewards. If you're not already a member, or if you are a member, you don't know anything about it, go talk to Jameson or really anybody in the Bank First family, and they'll get you taken care of. Lots of great things there in the perk rewards at Bank First. Go check them out today for anything that you might need in the banking world. All right, joining us now in the first segment here is somebody does every month from just down the road, the incredible resource that we have here with South Central Regional Medical Center. We have Dr. Katie Cranston. She is with South Central Family Medicine. And Dr. Cranston, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, Dr. Cranston, we'll jump right in. I know we were kind of talking off air about how you kind of got here to Laurel, and I'll kind of let you lead. I know you said you're not originally from the area, but you've been in Mississippi a little while.
Yes, I have. So, my journey here, I can just tell a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
That's where I was born and raised, and then I went to undergrad at Penn State.
So are you a Cardinal or a Wildcat?
I'm a Cardinals fan.
There
yeah.
you go. Okay,
Lexington is just down the road, so I'm a true
go.
Louisville Cardinals fan.
There you go.
And then a lot of my family had went to University of Louisville as well. And actually, my high school was across the street from University of Louisville.
So you're all in on the Cardinals.
Yeah, all in. But I didn't want to go there for college because I was like, a little bit too close to where I literally just went to high school. Yeah. So I decided to go to Penn State.
Okay.
And so that's where I went to undergrad. And then I decided to move to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I went to grad school there and got my master's in public health. So actually what brought me to Mississippi was my first job teaching public health at the W in Columbus, Mississippi.
Yeah, great school.
Yes. So I spent about 5 years teaching in the Department of Health and Kinesiology there. Really wonderful time. Really fell in love with Mississippi there. Actually found a passion for medicine while I was teaching public health and decided to go back to medical school.
Okay.
So before I did that, I actually went to UMC and got a master's in biomedical sciences.
Yeah.
And then got my MD from UMC in Jackson.
So you are quite the journeyman here to Laurel.
I just kept going to school, yeah.
Yeah, just keep going around. Yeah.
But what brought me to Laurel, so while I was in medical school, I really got interested in rural medicine and decided to become a Mississippi Rural Scholar.
I've heard that program's fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful and really great opportunities and get to meet a lot of people in the state. But that is kind of what led me to Laurel because you can essentially work anywhere as a doctor in the state of Mississippi because most of the state is rural.
Right.
So I kind of had my choice, and Laurel just kind of popped up as an opportunity. And I interviewed here, had wonderful vibes with the community, the physicians that were already here, and I was like, you know what? Let's make it happen.
Awesome. So you started in February, so you're real fresh.
Very.
So you lived in Laurel now for a little while. What's been your impression the first month or so?
Yeah. So my husband and I live in the historic district, so very familiar with the downtown area. We can walk here from where we live.
Nice.
Love that neighborhood. We love to be able to walk around the neighborhood. Very much like they say, Mayberry vibes. Feels very safe, welcoming. We already know a bunch of our neighbors.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed the community so far, and we're actually coming here from Dallas because that's where I did residency for the last 3 years.
Change.
Yeah, so a little bit of a change for sure.
Yeah.
My husband's family is actually originally from Mississippi, so they're in the Philadelphia, Mississippi area. So just this past weekend, we were able to just drive up there, one road, about a little over an hour. So it was kind of nice to be able to spend more time with family and
that's nice.
be, I guess, back home.
There you go. That's awesome. We're excited to have you here. I was just telling somebody yesterday, once you kind of move into an area like Laurel or somewhere in Mississippi, you kind of don't want to go anywhere else. You get that feeling of, hey, this life's slow is kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to take a little bit of a break. Residency was in a big city was kind of a lot. We had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of stuff, so we were always busy. So it's kind of been nice to take a step back and just kind of chill a little bit, especially getting started with a new job and everything.
Absolutely. So, all right, so you're into your new job. You've been in a month. I know. I was just telling you, Alan Bryson is my provider over there, so I've seen your face there around the clinic, and I know you're kind of starting to get your feet under you, but first month in the job, obviously I know you like Laurel so far, but how's your first month in working? What you were promised there with South Central, is it living up to the hype?
Yes, I'm so happy to say it has. I signed pretty early with my contract with South Central, and I started getting that nervous energy before starting. Like, oh, I hope this is as good as I felt, when I signed, and it has been even better.
That's
the
awesome.
Community, especially the healthcare community here, has been so welcoming, so supportive. Love Alan Bryson.
Yeah, he's great.
His office is right down the way from me, and our clinic in Laurel, and so everyone at the Laurel Family Clinic has been wonderful. We have great nurses, great staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some great people over there. So, excuse me. Let's talk about what you're doing this time of year. Obviously, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's hot. It's going to be 80 degrees in a couple of days, which leads to a lot of sniffles.
Lots of sniffles, lots of allergies going around this season.
Yeah.
And people might not realize we're also still in flu season.
We are. Yes, we are indeed. So with that being said, as we get into the season where the weather's changing and the pollen is wreaking havoc on everybody down here, what are some maybe good tips and tricks so maybe they don't have to, when they come see you for a regular visit, maybe they're not as stuffed up as they normally would be?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So I think, seasonal allergies kind of hit everyone a little bit differently, but kind of, on an individual basis, you kind of know what to expect year to year.
Yep.
Being prepared with like an over-the-counter antihistamine, like a Zyrtec or a Claritin kind of brand, whatever kind of works best for you, would be kind of a good bet. Anything that triggers it, being outside near certain triggers, kind of staying away from that, even though, when the weather does get nice, we love to be in the outdoors, but if there's certain parts of the outdoors that really just mess with you, trying to kind of hold off a little bit so you kind of get over the hump.
For sure. What if everything triggered you like me?
Yeah, I didn't have allergies till I moved to Mississippi, actually. So,
funny how that happens.
So I do understand that. I remember first going to the doctor when I moved here, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Every year I act like I'm surprised by what's happening, but it happens every single time in the same time. So, all right, so you're obviously in family medicine, which means you like to see people more routinely.
Absolutely.
I've talked to some family medicine providers over there before, but in your words, why is it important to have a family provider who is going to see you yearly or however frequent y'all determine is appropriate? Why is that important?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's important to have a family medicine doctor because we are going to be up to date on all the evidence-based medicine based on your age and your lifestyle. So we want to make sure that we have the appropriate screenings in place, especially screenings to prevent different types of cancer. Make sure you have your appropriate vaccines. We also want to make sure we get routine blood work to make sure that, there's nothing going on that, hasn't been addressed.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are the United States Preventive Service Task Force prevention guidelines.
Okay.
And so that's one thing I'm very passionate about in family medicine. And I mentioned I have a degree in public health as well, is kind of combining those two and making sure we're really focusing on your health and well-being and preventive services. And the only way to really do that is to at least have an annual visit with your family medicine doctor. But then usually what I find is once people establish care, they realize they have a doctor that they can rely on, trust, go to with any other medical concerns that arise.
Right. I kind of heard that same thing from the other one. So back to kind of your public health degree as we kind of wrap up here in the last minute or so. What has been the biggest asset that you've seen of, hey, I have this degree and taught public health and now I'm in family medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think being able to see the whole person and them as an individual as well as part of a family and part of a community. I think coming from that training, I kind of look at medicine and look at a person in a more holistic way.
Right.
My goal really every time I see a patient in clinic is to create an inclusive and equitable environment where they can get the care that they need, focusing not only on their physical health but also their mental health.
There you go. That's extremely important, especially in this day and age. So, all right, well, Dr. Cranston, we have just about ran out of time, but most importantly, obviously, you're looking for new patients.
I am.
Are you any age? What's that look like?
Yeah, great. So family medicine, we're trained to treat from womb to tomb, cradle to grave, 0 to 100. So I treat everyone. And if I don't know the answer to a question that you have, the great thing about establishing care with a primary care doctor is that we can get you who you need to go see.
There you go. And look, she's new, so her schedule's pretty open right now. So if you're looking for a new family provider, Dr. Cranston here can get you in pretty quick.
That's correct.
Well, Dr. Cranston, we're excited to have you here in South Central and at Laurel, and I'm sure we'll have you back on before too long.
This sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking about a fun event that's coming up, so stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back.
We're back to Good Morning Pine Belt. SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right, Good Morning Pine Belt. We are back live here in the McLaurin Carpet Studios. Our thanks to Dr. Katie Cranston there from South Central Family Medicine. If you're in need of a new provider, she's got openings. She's brand new, so go check her out. Dr. Cranston over there at South Central Family Medicine. You'll be taken care of. Fantastic. It's important to get an annual checkup there with your family doctor and establish that relationship, and I think Dr. Cranston will be a great one to do that with. Before we bring in our next guest, I do want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by Dixie Electric Power Association, a member-owned electric co-op that offers broadband internet. I know that they are still looking for sponsors for their golf tournament that is coming up. I can't remember the date, and I don't have the poster in front of me, but you can look it up there on their Facebook and reach out to Amanda and the team over there if you are interested in being a sponsor in any type of way. All of this goes back to fantastic partners across the Pine Belt and their coverage region, so go check them out today. DixieElectric.com. All right, joining us now. She says she's never been on the radio before, but she's been everywhere else. My good friend, Miss Emily Nowell from the Laurel Mercantile. How are you doing this morning, Emily?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am well. Well, thanks for coming on. I promise this will be the toughest interview you've ever had in your entire life. So
I'm ready.
We're going to get really deep into it here. No, I'm just kidding. This will be easy. All right. So obviously, this time of year, there's lots of things happening across Laurel, across the Pine Belt, particularly right here in downtown. And one thing that has been done the last few years, and I think is one of the cooler events that we have here as far as retail-wise goes, is an event coming up this Saturday. And Emily, I'll let you kind of introduce it.
So this Saturday, Laurel Mercantile is hosting Mississippi Made. This is an arts and crafts market where we feature vendors, makers, artisans, craftsmen who are Mississippi-based. Either, they grew up here, maybe they make art somewhere else now and want to have a chance to come home, or they're based right here in Laurel. Yeah,
it's a really cool event. There's lots of stuff, and we'll kind of get into that in just a minute. But first, how many years have y'all been doing this now?
Well, Mississippi Made, in some form, has been going on since about 2020.
Okay, yeah.
So we started as part of the COVID compromise
Yes,
there.
yes, I remember.
So we had to limit the number of people coming in our stores. We had a line waiting outside. We wanted to give those people outside something to see and something to do. So we started offering vendors spots to set up on our yard. And we, tried to focus on Mississippi artisans, Mississippi craftsmen. We're very big into supporting your local community, supporting your local economy by supporting the makers that are there. And so that was a great way to feature those faces whenever people are just going to stand there and be bored otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, standing in line anyway, so they might as well go out and shop in the outside. And it's a really cool event. So obviously it's coming up this Saturday. What type, I know you mentioned some different things, but when people show up this Saturday, first of all, what time does it start, and what can people maybe expect? What different kind of vendors are there?
Yeah, so when we first started, we were have maybe a handful, 4 to 8 vendors on the lawn next to Laurel Mercantile. This year, we will be at 2 locations. We'll be at Laurel Mercantile and at Scotsman General Store. We have about 60 vendors.
Wow.
You'll see artists that are kind of in a more traditional format, painters, potters. We have some jewelry vendors. We have people who make soap, body cream, candles. We have some people who have cottage industries where they make food, like preserves, and just a really good variety to showcase all the different types of crafts and arts that there are across the state. Yeah.
Wow, 60. That's definitely grown. I remember the first one y'all put on. Like you said, it was real small, but you kind of getting done what you could. And I've seen it grow every year, but 2 locations, that's really great. 60 vendors is a lot of people. Excuse me. So this is a great time because it's coming up. Mother's Day is just about a month or so away. So this is a great place that you can get a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to mention too, Mother's Day is great, but we actually have some vendors who are participating this year that might make a good option for a Father's Day gift as well. Come prepared to look. If you don't buy the day of, some of these artists do work off commission. Yeah. And so you can maybe order a custom painting or a custom portrait and have that ready in time for Mother's Day or Father's Day. But you do need to start early if you're going to get a custom order.
Yes, absolutely. Start early now. All right. So obviously there's going to be lots of different vendors and everything, different, artists and vendors and different kind of people. Is there what's the food going to look like? Because that's what draws people. What's the food going to look like?
So we have some local vendors who sell baked goods. We have a couple of food trucks who are coming. Ooh. Obviously, we will be making snowballs in the Scotsman General Store. And fingers crossed, it's going to be warm and sunny, which is a big change from last year when we had to shut it down, move it to the next day, and have a much smaller event. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully Saturday's going to be a beautiful day. Get a snowball, walk around, support your local makers and artisans, grab some snacks, and look at some items for mom or dad for Mother's or Father's Day.
Yeah, for sure. I know there's going to be a lot of people out and about because it's opening day over at the Sportsplex. So after you take your pictures at the Sportsplex and you got that weird 3.5 hour gap between the games, come over here and shop at Mississippi Made. It's going to be fantastic. So, Emily, I know you mentioned earlier, just to kind of pivot from the event itself, obviously y'all do a lot in the community. Y'all have been, I remember when y'all first started building the Mercantile from the start there and have obviously grown since, but why is it so important for y'all to focus on not only local vendors, but local people to work, local everything? Why is that so important?
Well, it's common for folks in my age, which, I'm in my early 40s. We saw people who went off to school and then they moved to a larger city for work. And what happened was we saw the hometowns where we grew up kind of trickle down and die. And they kind of just became retirement communities. There weren't young families. There just weren't options for people to come back and start careers there. And it always kind of bothered us. So, my husband Josh and I, Jim and Mallory Raspberry, and Aaron and Ben Napier were the owners of the stores. And we all had this common vision to why can't we just make that life here? Right. We don't have to move to Birmingham. We don't have to move to Jackson. We can do it right here in Laurel. Right. So we always said if we ever got the opportunity, we would start something here that would give people a chance. And so we started the retail stores. We've moved on to manufacturing now. We have a factory. We make butcher blocks, candles. We make some industrial supply items as well. And it's been really great to see over the past decade how much that has grown.
Yeah.
And we've grown from volunteers working in the stores to now we have about 70 employees, full and part-time.
Yeah.
So it's really satisfying to see that growth within our community. And we do every bit of that right here within the footprint of Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah, it's really cool. I remember when y'all got the manufacturing plant, I remember Josh taking me through it at the beginning. I was like, I don't know what.
It was rough.
It was really bad.
It was really rough.
But y'all have a grand vision, and I really like that. Y'all are all from here. Y'all are all local. Well, Ben and Aaron, Ben's close. I mean, he's from Mississippi, but Aaron's from here. And pouring back into your hometown is really important. And so moving forward, obviously, everybody kind of remembers the tragic fire over here, but moving forward, what's kind of y'all's plans? Obviously, y'all are working to reopen that, but what's kind of y'all's plans into the future?
Into the future, we'll see what the future holds. I was particularly excited about the cooking school portion of the heirloom. I know a lot of our locals, they might not need a hotel room, but they're looking for an experience like that. So we're kind of hoping to expand more into that avenue of telling the stories of the heirlooms that are just everyday life. So from the heirloom standpoint, we're still working on that. We've just hit a pretty major speed bump that slowed us down, but we're still moving forward.
Well, I'm excited for that. I know it was obviously a horrible morning, but as Josh has said, the Lord does things for a reason, and we'll see that in due time. But all right, Emily, back to the actual event itself. Obviously, that's coming up this Saturday. Date, time, location, and anything else that we may be missed.
So this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., come out and visit us. You'll see the tents. They'll be at Laurel Mercantile, at Scotsman General Store. Support our other local vendors, too. I'll say this. We don't have anybody selling coffee at Mississippi Made, so support a local coffee shop.
There you go.
If you don't want to grab lunch at the food truck, there's tons of great restaurants downtown. And make sure you visit our other retailers downtown. I know personally, we see Laurel Mercantile and we see a lot of visitors and tourists come in, but I always try to tell them it means so much to our entire town that you choose to come here. You spend your hard-earned dollar supporting our mom and pop shops, and that really means a lot. Yeah.
Well, Emily, we're excited for the event this Saturday, and really, I'm telling you, if you don't know their story, go look and just kind of see their journey through the mercantile and everything. They really poured their own money, their own sweat and tears into everything that's done, and it's kind of manifesting itself now through these events like Mississippi Made. That's this Saturday. So, Emily, thanks for coming on this morning.
All right. Thanks so much, Ben.
All right. When we come back, we're going to be talking about another exciting event coming up in just a couple of weeks. Stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back.
This is Good Morning Pine Belt on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right, good morning, Pine Belt. We're back here on this beautiful Tuesday morning here in downtown Laurel. Thank you for tuning in this morning, wherever you may be listening. We're live here in the McLaurin Carpet Studios. Our thanks to Miss Emily Nowell there with the Laurel Mercantile. A great event coming up this Saturday. Mississippi Made, great vendors, great way to support your local artists and vendors and different kind of things. And it really is a cool event, now at 2 locations, so even more great stuff for you to choose from. Before we bring in our first guest, a couple of quick things. I want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by Community Bank, local bankers, local decisions, and plenty of convenient locations. You can go check out Community Bank today for all of your banking needs. Also, too, don't forget that if you ever want to listen back to a segment or if you want to go back and listen to another show at any time, you can always go back. You go to search search SuperTalk Laurel. There it is on YouTube. You can go back and find all the audio files right there on our SuperTalk Laurel YouTube page. We've had those rolling now for the past year or so. So you can always go back to and listen to anything you may have missed, or if you just can't get enough of Good Morning Pine Belt, I would understand. You can go back and listen there. Also, too, real quick shout out to my former boss, Bob Getty. He has an exciting new podcast that is launched last week, I believe was the first week that 2 weeks ago, excuse me. It's called Legends with Bob Getty. If you know Bob, he has been around the state and especially in the sports world for quite a number of years now. He has lots of connections to some really great in sports in Mississippi. Obviously has some historic, legendary figures across all different sports, and he sits down and talks to them. So you can go listen to that on anywhere you can follow. You can find your podcast. I know right now it's on Spotify. It's going to be on all of the podcast platforms. I believe it already is. If not, you can go search right there on Spotify. Go follow him on Facebook, though. Legends with Bob Getty. Exciting stuff. Exciting conversations with the sports legends across the state, and we're excited to be working with Bob to get that out to the masses and tell the story of our great sports history here in Mississippi. All right, joining us now, our next guest from, the Jones County District Attorney's Office. We have, it's getting on me now, Miss Priscilla Pitts. And Miss Priscilla, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, Miss Priscilla, excited to have you in. I know we were talking with Emily beforehand about a cool event coming up this weekend, but your event is coming up here. It's a few weeks away, but we wanted to go ahead and make sure people were aware of it so they can start planning as they get closer to the Easter weekend and everything. Things get busy. So I want you to tell us about the event that's coming up and kind of what it looks like.
Sure. So we are having our second annual community Easter egg hunt. It's going to be on Thursday, April 2nd from 6 to 8 at the Laurel Fairgrounds. And it is an evening of fun. It's a free event with eggs, refreshments, and resources. We do it as an event to raise awareness for National Crime Victims' Rights Week. In our office, I'm the Victim Assistance Coordinator, and so we want to raise awareness to what's available to victims of crime.
Right.
This week, the National Crime Victims' Rights Week started in 1981.
Wow.
This year, the week is actually April 19th through the 25th.
Wow.
But Easter's April 5th.
Of course, yeah. We can't pick a date for Easter for some reason, but.
Right. And so there's... of course, Easter eggs to hunt. We open the gates at 6 and let everybody come in and check out things. The Easter Bunny's there for pictures. Again, refreshments. We have lots of our community partners, agencies that work with victims of different crimes will be there with information on what's available, whether it's somebody that's a direct victim or knows somebody or anything of that nature. And then it's just fun because kids may not pick their clothes up off the floor, but Easter eggs get off grass real fast.
Real quick. We're going to talk about a little bit more about the actual event itself here in a minute, but I wanted to talk to you about the actual reason behind the event. Obviously, you mentioned that it is to advocate for victims of domestic violence and child violence and different things like that. So you are the victims coordinator here in the Jones County area. I think sometimes people around here think, hey, we're in Mississippi, something like that doesn't happen all the time, or child trafficking or whatever the case may be doesn't happen all the time, but unfortunately it does. So
Yes.
Talk about what it's like from being at your angle and how that is actually prevalent here.
So, yes, unfortunately, violent crimes, be it domestic violence, crimes against children, as well as our property crimes, are all prevalent. And this week in particular does focus on any crime, violent or not.
Yeah.
We do throughout the year. October is dedicated to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. April, though, aside from the week itself, is also Child Abuse Prevention Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So we do cover all of those in April as well. My job is working specifically with felony cases that come to our office, guiding through the court process, as well as any resources that may be available that may apply.
Yeah.
And then our community agencies usually are specific. We have the Domestic Abuse Family Shelter. We have the Schaefer Center for Crisis Intervention, Cherished Hearts Child Advocacy Center, and several others will have a table. They all do amazing work with no charge to the victims they work with, whether it's mental health counseling, physical resources, housing, court accompaniment, whatever it may be. And it takes a team. Yeah. And it's, to tell victims of whatever crime, especially if it is a violent crime or against a child, but as well if someone has had their four-wheeler stolen, they're still a victim.
Right, absolutely.
And, it's a loss, different, but still. Yeah. And it's that, there's people that care about you. There's resources available. Yeah. If you've never been involved in the court system, you don't know the process.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. And so those of us in positions like mine are here to help and guide along the way.
So is that kind of your main focus, is to make sure people are aware, hey, we're going through this process. This is what's going to happen, to help prepare people as they go throughout that process?
Yes. Before, during, and after a lot of times. Yeah. So if there's an offender that is sentenced to prison time, making sure that people are signed up for notifications and things like that, for whether it's 2 years or 20.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's important, too, because families like to know if something like that happens, if a crime was committed against them, they want to know, hey, if this person's going to get out in 5 years, I want to know. I want to know when they're getting out so I can kind of be mentally prepared. Do you see a lot that when people have these cases, are they kind of scared when they see that whoever victimized them is coming out, or how is that?
A lot of times, yes. And then sometimes the Mississippi Department of Corrections has victim services. They may be more in touch with them because they do the notifications, or the parole board, or things like that. Yeah. And but yes, sometimes victims will reach back out to our office, and it's making sure that if they need a safety plan, that they think on that, or talk with their local law enforcement, whatever they need to do to be safe, feel safe, whichever applies.
And I know sometimes people will get maybe a little frustrated when it comes to dealing through the court system about the length of time sometimes that it make. Is there any way, just kind of obviously it takes a long time because it is there any way maybe that if somebody's in that situation where they can maybe help expedite it any, or is that kind of y'all's job to help tell them, hey, this is going to take this long kind of thing?
There's no time frame. Yeah. Justice can move slowly. Reaching out, we don't have any problem talking to people and letting know as best as we can. Yeah. Sometimes it's not necessarily, it may be the court system. There's any number of things. Yeah. But it's not a specific way to expedite a lot of times. Yeah.
And this is kind of a loaded question, but is there any particular reason why it gets gummed up sometimes like it does? Not really.
Not that I would know for sure.
Yeah, just kind of happens.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so back to the event. Obviously, we talked about the importance of what y'all are raising awareness for. But back to the event itself, I know, obviously, y'all partnering with the South Mississippi Fair Commission are putting it on. But you also have some community businesses and different things that have donated, and you're still looking for more if people are willing to do it, right?
Yes, we would love more eggs and or candy, that for kids to pick up. Anything, if people want to make financial contributions to help, get that, or we are going to provide some refreshments, so anything contributing to that always helps.
And those prizes too, right?
Yes, lots of prizes, free desserts, free kids meals, things like that. Yeah. And in addition to candy and small toys. Yeah. Come out and see the Easter Bunny. Yeah. And then, if anybody wants to come volunteer to put out eggs or hand out drinks or whichever it may be, our office can be called at 601-649-4606. And we'll be glad to put somebody to work or get help.
Yeah.
In any way.
There you go. So if somebody at business wants to donate or anything, they can call that office number, right?
Yeah, and ask for Priscilla.
There you go. Well, Miss Priscilla, real important though. Obviously, we know the gates open at 6. What time's the actual Easter egg hunt? So when do they start sprinting for the eggs?
About 6:30. That way, so if somebody was running a few minutes late,
right.
and that way everybody gets in, kind of checks out the tables, wanders around a little bit.
Yeah.
The fair staff does a great job of the setup with lots of picnic tables and umbrellas and the whole, they're amazing for what they do. And, we greet, we start with a prayer, kind of some thank yous and a few rules, and then count down to run.
There you go. And that just because the eggs start running at 6:30 doesn't mean you show up at 6:30. Get there a little bit early. I'm speaking to anybody in my family that may be listening because we like to be late. All right, well, Priscilla, we really appreciate you coming in. This is a really cool event. We'll keep this up as a reminder, people, as we get closer. But go check them out. If you want to donate as a business, you can go do that now. Get on that early. Don't wait till the last minute to do that. And Priscilla, thank you so much for the event, and thank you for what y'all are doing for our community. It's fantastic and very important work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap it up with another event coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Stick around. Good Morning Pine Belt. We'll be right back.
Good Morning Pine Belt. SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.
All right. Good morning, Pine Belt. We're back live here on a Tuesday morning in beautiful, historic downtown Laurel, Mississippi. Coming to you live from the McLaurin Carpet Studios. Go check them out today right there off of Highway 28 in the big town of Soso, Mississippi, or at McLaurinCarpets.com. Before we bring in our final guest of the day, first of all, thanks to Miss Priscilla there from the District Attorney's Office. Great event. This obviously benefiting a fantastic cause, so go check them out. We'll keep reminding you that as we get a little bit closer. But before we bring in our final guest of the day, I want to mention that this segment of Good Morning Pine Belt is brought to you by K-Rocks in Ellisville. Hey, look, I'm telling you, if you really want a top quality po' boy, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find a better one than K-Rocks. You can go get a shrimp po' boy. You can get a crawfish po' boy. You can even get a catfish po' boy. Or you can just get the catfish. That's my favorite. And then when you get done, you can slide over to Crazy Cones and wash it all down with a nice snow cone, a milkshake, or any of the other things Miss Karen has whipped up over there. So our thanks to K-Rocks right there in Ellisville. Good food. Oh, yeah. All right. Joining us now from St. John's Episcopal Church just down the street from us here, we have Miss Katie Sullivan. Miss Katie, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, Miss Katie, we'll jump right into it. I know if you're not familiar with St. John's, if you head straight down Fifth Avenue right here, you'll see it. You'll see the school, big white school there on one side of the street, and just across the street you'll see the church. So it's hard to miss. Beautiful, beautiful church. Taking many family pictures right there in front of the church, as I'm sure many people have. But Miss Katie, we wanted to bring you on today because y'all have an event coming up here in just a couple of weeks, and this is going to be a really cool event. So we want to tell people about it.
Okay, thank you. We have a wine tasting and silent auction. It's on Thursday, April the 9th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Studio 550 right downtown. Tickets are out for sale. You can contact our church. You can contact anyone from the church. You can also call 601-319-3502 and text or call. Okay. And then on Facebook, the Church of St. John's has you can get the QR code there, and you can actually register for that event there also.
Okay.
But the event will have, as of now, we're having about 16 wine tastings.
Okay.
A larger quantity because we can't get as much of one wine, so we have larger quantity of wine.
Okay.
We'll have a bourbon pour.
Okay.
We'll have heavy hors d'oeuvres, including a chicken Alfredo and pork tenderloin, so you won't go away hungry.
Yes. I know we were talking off air. That's important when you're doing these kind of tastings. You don't want little baby finger foods.
No, some nibbles, but also some substantial food.
Yeah.
We also have a 4-piece orchestra coming, live music, jazz. It's casual.
Okay.
You come after work on Thursday, enjoy some tastings, listen to the music, have some food, and just have a wonderful evening, and you can start your weekend a little bit early.
There you go. And that's what I guess what I was going to ask next. So it's not one of those ones you got to dress up real fancy for.
Absolutely not. We want it to be comfortable, casual, and enjoy yourself and learn something about wines.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we were talking too. Obviously, this you buy your ticket for the wine tasting, but you're also doing the big silent auction, and you're going to have some pretty cool prizes, aren't you?
Yes, we have a pair of pearl earrings with diamonds.
Ooh.
We have several trips. We have some opportunities to buy catered food outings if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some paintings and artwork and things like that. I'm not sure how many items at this point, but I do know we'll have, I would say, a dozen or two, if not more, items to bid on. We always welcome more donations. Again, dial 601-319-3502 or text that number. We'll get back to you. If you have something you want to donate to the auction, we'll accept that.
Yeah.
Most important, we want people to buy tickets and come and enjoy.
Yeah, and buy your tickets early. Don't wait till the last
Please.
minute, right?
It helps with the food, so you can have lots of it.
Absolutely. So all this obviously is a fundraiser, and what is that going towards?
It goes back to the church, but we use that locally for organizations that we help with and outreach programs to the community. It will all be local.
Yeah.
It's not sent off anywhere. There's no fee for something. It's all for Jones County, for this area.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that y'all pour heavily into the community there, obviously with the school right across the street, and I know y'all do lots of things around, not like you said, not just downtown Laurel, but Jones County in of itself.
Well, we're a small but mighty church, we call ourselves.
Yes, indeed. How long, and you may not know off the top of your head, how long has St. John's been there?
The late 1800s,
Okay.
I know that.
I
I should know the date, but it's the late 1800s.
Yeah. Now, have you been a lifelong member of it? How long have you been at St. John's?
I grew up in Laurel. I was 7th grade on, lived here, went to St. John's then, and came back, and have been a member since I came back in my mid-30s.
Okay.
My daughter was just married there at Christmas. It's
Yeah.
it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful church. Beautiful church. All right. Excuse me. Well, Miss Katie, remind people real quick. I know you said it a few times, but the date, the time, the location, and how people can get tickets.
All right, it's Thursday, April the 9th, 6 to 9 p.m. You can contact St. John's Episcopal Church, or you can call or text 601-319-3502, or on Facebook, the Church of St. John's. If you go there, there'll be a link where you can buy tickets there. So please come all, one and all. And again, casual, enjoyable. It'll be just a lovely evening.
There you go. All right. Well, really appreciate you coming on, and really excited for this event. And again, we'll keep reminding people of that as we go along. So thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that does it for Good Morning Pine Belt. Thank you again for tuning in wherever you may be listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow, but until then, you can always listen in right here and keep your dial on SuperTalk Laurel 99.3.